Now it's time for another episode of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
Another one.
Well, you don't sound like you're excited about this one.
I'm running out of iced tea.
Season 2, Episode 9 is called Tattoo. And overall, I would recommend not watching this episode.
Oh, no.
This is another episode. I'm keeping track of it now. How many episodes keep track of which character. So this is mainly about a single character, but there is a side story that is quite interesting and fun.
Oh.
But the main
story
about one of the main cast, one of the main crewmen, is not that. It's boring. It's really boring.
Who's that about?
Who do you think it would be about?
Boring Tuvok.
No.
Harry Kim.
No, it's Chakotay.
Oh, well, he's the third. He's the next guy for
Ooh.
boring.
It was rough. Let me just give you the cliff notes of it, okay? They're exploring some M-class moon, and they find a symbol, and it's the symbol that he has on his, meditation rocks. So it's from his people.
Well, that sounded interesting. But out in the Delta Quadrant doesn't make sense.
So this episode's called Tattoo, and it's about his tattoo that he has.
that he has, yeah. Is that an eagle wing or something?
So he goes to... I don't know what it is. He goes to find these people on this planet, because they were on the moon, but now they're gone to the planet. And there's a lot of things that don't make sense. They can't beam down to the surface, so they have to take a shuttle, which doesn't make any sense. So Chakotay's going down there. He's got Tuvok with him,
Yeah.
Mr. Personality himself. He's got B'Elanna.
Yeah.
She's sciencing it up. And they got Neelix with them. Because he's the food expert, I guess.
Oh, so he's going to gather some berries to poison them all with.
I guess.
Okay.
So they find so they go in search of these people that are his people, right? Except they're aliens. Long story short, they all have to leave. They have to beam out, but he gets stuck there because his combat fell off when a tree fell on him.
That hasn't happened before in Star Trek.
Yeah. So then he's trying to get these people to talk to him because he already threw away their weapons.
But they're the same people as him?
But they won't come talk to him, but he knows they're there.
Huh.
And he has to, at one point, he gets naked, and then he has to put on these clothes that they left for him, and only then will they come talk to him.
Does he speak a different language with them?
They do speak different languages, then they go through these ritual and they can understand each other.
But why is it that his people are there on this planet?
So this is an alien race that's all about living off the land and being one with nature.
But does someone abduct them from Earth and drop them off
So
there?
they travel to Earth.
Oh, and they influenced people.
Yeah, and they said it took them 2 generations to get there.
Oh.
Okay, from the Delta Quadrant to the Alpha Quadrant.
Oh, that's not good news for this crew.
Yeah, exactly. So they said they traveled there trying to meet people there.
77 years.
And they met Native Americans.
Right.
Who wanted to live with the land. And so they taught them their ways and everything.
Wasn't the opposite. The native people of Earth didn't teach them their ways.
So they didn't teach them about their technology or anything like that. And then they left.
Oh, I would have preferred to have said that the natives taught them some things.
And what makes this storyline even worse is that throughout it's Arrow style storytelling. It's flashbacks to young Chakotay as a 15-year-old brat with his dad.
I think I remember that, actually. I do recall that.
Anyway, it's really not interesting at all.
Oh.
But what else happens at the time is this fun story with the Doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, and his favorite sidekick. Cass.
Again, Neelix and Cass.
So
heavily saturated in each episode.
Listen, unfortunately this story doesn't last throughout the whole episode, but it's a fun story nonetheless.
Okay.
What happens is we see Ensign Joanne is back, and I know her name is not Ensign Joanne. That's just what I'm calling her because she's the pregnant crewman.
Okay.
Because they were only supposed to be out for a few weeks. Anyway, so the Doctor's caring for her, and she's complaining about back problems, and he's breaking it down really scientifically. and he's showing no compassion at all.
Just needs
And
some...
while this is happening, Cass keeps giving him like really dirty eyes.
Yeah. Like, you gotta help this woman out. She's suffering here.
Yeah, be more sympathetic. Do your job, okay?
Right.
And he doesn't get this at all, right? She's even telling him, like, hey, give her a day off, right? So she can rest for a little bit. And he's like, no, there's no need. Okay, get back to work.
Oh God.
He's being a real hard ass.
To think at that point in time, you just grow a baby in a little petri dish and not have to go through all that.
So Cass is calling him out on this and giving him shit, right?
Right.
And he's just arguing because he don't give a damn.
Right.
So after she leaves, he's like, okay, I'll prove her wrong. And he programs into his holographic interface, whatever, that he's going to have some alien flu for 29 hours.
Okay. Oh, to see that
he can deal with it, no problem.
Oh, and still do his
and
job.
And he's going to have all
properly.
these symptoms, but they're fake, right?
Yeah. He should have programmed it to that he was pregnant. That would have made more sense.
Anyway, he's just going to do this to make all the crew look like they're wimps. Okay?
Right, and he doesn't do very well.
He doesn't do very well.
No.
It starts off with just some sneezing and coughing.
Yeah.
It keeps getting
he's
worse.
never had any illness because he's a hologram.
Well, there was a time he felt pain.
There was a time when he shrunk right tiny.
That happened twice. Once he got compressed, and then one time he was like
but I guess it doesn't
4 inches
feel
tall.
Anything. Anyway.
So it doesn't go on. It doesn't go well for him, but he's still doing it anyway, right? Just to prove a point.
He's even grouchier.
Oh yeah, he's really bad at his job then.
Yeah.
Because then he's just a dick to everyone.
Good old Toby.
So what happens is it gets to the end of the 29 hours.
Yeah.
And the symptoms still haven't gone away.
Oh no, he programmed
So now he's freaking
out.
So he interrupts Captain Janeway in the middle of this emergency while she's trying to get the crewmen back from the surface. Oh, at one point she decides she's going to land Voyager on the surface.
Oh, with the little feet again.
Yeah. Even though there's bad storms and they get caught in this giant cyclone.
They keep on putting the ship at risk.
And it's caught in this giant cyclone and it's going to crash into the planet. It stops at the last minute, but don't worry about that. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the doctor interrupts the captain to complain that he's been sick and his program should have ended over an hour ago. So he's freaking out.
Right.
And so finally he comes clean, okay, and admits that, yeah, it's terrible. Because what happened was Cass apparently reprogrammed it so that it would last a couple hours longer. Because when he knew it was going to end, it made the experiment pointless.
Right.
But when he didn't know...
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Well, at least with pregnancy, you do know it will end at some point.
Anyway, he couldn't handle it that it might last a few more days.
Right.
So that was a funny story. Actually, it was really good.
It would have been way more funny if he would have programmed himself to be expecting at like 32 weeks or something. That's a missed opportunity there.
That could be a storyline for another season.
That's a total missed opportunity. He could have the belly on him and his feet would be swollen.
You could totally do that for the whole season, right? Start at the beginning. But
my feet grew like 2.5 sizes. I went from a size like 8.5 to 11.
Do you think they would be that progressive that they would make this guy do that for a whole season?
No, but...
Do you think Robert Picardo would do that for a whole season? At least
just for that episode. I think they missed that opportunity. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been hilarious. That's a good idea. If anyone else has any good ideas about how they could have improved this rather boring episode, except for the Doctor and Cass comedy duo there.
Have tricorders that work.
Let us know down in the comments below. You can always give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed these Chakotay's Odyssey episode. And that was another adventure for Chakotay's Odyssey featuring the adventures of Janeway.